Bonjour, French 1 students. Here is your lesson 12, parts A and B teaching video from pages 172 to 176 in your textbook. S'il vous plaît, ouvrez vos livres à la page 172. La voiture de Roger. Dans la rue, il y a une voiture rouge. C'est une petite voiture. C'est une voiture de sport. Dans la rue, il y a aussi un café. Au café, il y a un jeune homme. Il s'appelle Roger. C'est le propriétaire de la voiture rouge. Une jeune fille entre dans le café. Elle s'appelle Véronique. C'est l'amie de Roger. Véronique parle à Roger. Tu as une nouvelle voiture, n'est-ce pas? Oui, j'ai une nouvelle voiture. Est-ce qu'elle est grande ou petite? C'est une petite voiture. De quelle couleur est-elle? C'est une voiture rouge. Est-ce que c'est une voiture italienne? Oh oui, c'est une voiture italienne. Mais dis donc, Véronique, tu es vraiment très curieuse. Et toi? Tu n'es pas assez curieux. Ah bon, pourquoi? Pourquoi? Regarde la contractuelle là-bas. Ah, zut alors. So, working through this translation, right? The title here, Roger's Car. In the street, there is a red car. It's a small car. It's a sports car. In the street, there is also a cafe. At the cafe, there is a young man. His name is Roger. He's the owner of the red car. A young girl enters the cafe. Her name is Veronica. She's Roger's friend. Veronica speaks to Roger. You have a new car, don't you? Yes, I have a new car. Is it large or small? It's a small car. What color is it? It's a red car. Is it an Italian car? Yes, it's an Italian car. But hey there, Veronica, you are really very curious. And you are not curious enough. Oh, really? Why? Why? Look at the meter maid over there. Oh, darn. Right? So basically what's happening here is they're sitting at a table. She can see his car and sees that he's getting a parking ticket and is asking these questions to determine whether or not it's his car. So we have les Français et la voiture, about French people and the car. France is one of the leading producers of automobiles in the world. The two makers, Renault and Peugeot Citroën, manufacture a variety of models ranging from sports cars to minivans and buses. To obtain a driver's license, un permis de conduire, in France, you must be 18 years old and pass a very difficult driving test. French teenagers can, however, begin to drive at the age of 16 as long as they take lessons at an accredited driving school, auto-école, and are accompanied by an adult. Lessons in these schools are expensive, and it may cost you 300 euros before you pass the exam and get your official license. The French driver's license is a permis à point, license with points. A new license carries with it 12 points. When a driver commits a traffic violation, such as speeding or not wearing a seatbelt, a corresponding number of points is subtracted from the license. If a driver loses all 12 points, the license is revoked and that person can no longer drive. So again, first paragraph, right, they're just kind of talking about the fact that France has its own car companies, okay, and Renault and Peugeot Citroën are a couple of them. Next, they talk about a driver's license, right, and their driver's licenses are a little bit different than our driver's licenses here, right? At least in Michigan, you get to start to take driver's ed at 14 years and 8 months of age, and you take part 1, and then you have to do some driving with a parent, and then you take part 2. Well, theirs is a little bit different. You can't start to take the class until you're 16, okay? And you have to take it from an accredited school, and then you can only drive with an adult until you're 18, and 300 euros, which is fairly consistent with what it costs to get a driver's license here. The last paragraph is talking about their license, and it's fairly similar to our license here in Michigan. Right here in Michigan, you get points if you make mistakes or get in trouble or have a traffic violation, whereas in France, they just give you a certain number of points and you lose them. But it's the same kind of idea that we have here in the United States and in Michigan. All right, so we want to review a little bit because this lesson continues to be about adjectives. And so you've already learned about regular adjectives in lesson 11. And remember, adjectives are describing words. Specifically, they typically describe nouns. Those are most of the ones that we've been talking about. Remember, adjectives must agree in gender and number with the noun they describe. Right? Gender means masculine or feminine, and number means singular or plural. Regular adjectives follow the noun that they describe, so they come after it, which is different than in English, because in English we say a red car, but in French you would say a car red. Okay, so the format is that you have your article first, then your noun, then your adjective. Again, that example being une voiture rouge, which is one of our new vocabulary words today. Okay, a red car. So again, that agreement part is really important. So again, we kind of put an X here for masculine singular, and remember that's because that's the form of the adjective that you're going to be given. Okay, that's always the form that's in a dictionary. It's in the glossary of your textbook. If they give you a chart or you have a vocab list with adjectives, the form you're given is the masculine singular. To take that adjective and make it feminine, remember we're going to add an E to it. To take that masculine singular adjective and make it masculine and plural, we're going to add an S. And take that masculine singular adjective and make it feminine and plural, we're going to add an ES. Now remember, there were a couple exceptions, right? We don't always add an S, okay? So we add an S except when the adjective already ends in S. Right, and then we don't add an extra one. Again, an example, that's français. And then also remember there was an exception for this E, because again, we do that except when the adjective already ends in an E. We don't add an extra E to make it feminine. Today, part of what we're going to learn are the colors, and colors are just regular adjectives, so they do all of what we've just described here, okay? So we're going to take a look at colors here in a couple minutes. And you've seen them before. Back in Unit 1, they showed you some flags, and you did see some of the colors back then. Also new today are what we call the bags adjectives. And again, this might be something you want to take notes on, because nowhere in your textbook are you going to find them called the bags adjectives. So the bags adjectives, they're still describing words, okay? So they're still going to describe a noun. They still have to agree in gender and number with the noun they describe. Again, remember, gender is masculine or feminine, and number is the singular or the plural. Okay? But what's different here is that the bags adjectives go between the article and the noun. So they're going to look and sound more like how we say things in English. So our format here is that we'll have our article, our adjective, and then our noun. Now, there are only 9 adjectives that do this, that are these bags adjectives that go between the article and the noun. Okay? Your textbook doesn't teach you all 9 of them yet. But I want you to be familiar with them because you will continue, those of you who choose to continue to take French and take French 2, you'll learn the rest of these bags adjectives in French 2. So, why do we call them bags adjectives? We call them bags adjectives because it's a way for us to remember the 9 adjectives that do this. Because B stands for beauty, A stands for age, G stands for goodness, and S stands for size. So this is a way to remember the 9 adjectives. Now there's kind of 2 for each, and then there's 3 for one of them, which is the age one. So for beauty, the two that are beauty are jolie, and again, I'm going to just give you the masculine singular forms, okay, and beau. And beau is one that is an irregular adjective, and so to be the feminine form, it's belle. So beau and belle are the same adjective, okay, but belle's the feminine form. So jolie means pretty, beau means handsome, belle means beautiful. The age ones are jeune, which means young. That's the only one actually of these that you can use at this point. These other 2 are ones that you'll learn in French 2. And I want you to know that they exist, but I don't want you to use them. Okay, so these 2 you may not use. Okay. Nouveau means new, and vieux means old. Our goodness ones, there's also 2 of those. So this is bon, which has an irregular feminine form. It's B-O-N-N-E. And mauvais. So they are opposites. So bon is good, and mauvais is bad. And then the size ones are petit and grand. So small and large. So the difference is, if I want to say a large car, it's going to be une, and grande is going to have an E on it to make it feminine, and then voiture. So again, the difference is that in these sentences, the adjective is between the article and the noun, and here's our adjective between our article and our noun. So that's what's different about these 9 bags adjectives. So taking a look at this, the way it's presented to you in your textbook, first we have the colors. So les couleurs. Note the form and position of the color words in the following sentences. S'il vous plaît, répétez. Alice a un vélo bleu. Nous avons des chemises bleues. And again, notice here, right? Un vélo, masculine and singular. So we have the masculine singular form of bleu. Here, des chemises is feminine and plural. So we have the feminine and plural form of blue with that extra ES on it. Okay. Names of colors are adjectives and take adjective endings. They come after the noun. So again, the 8 colors, like I mentioned here, are just regular adjectives. So they agree, okay, using this and they come after the noun they describe. So, s'il vous plaît, répétez de quelle couleur, de quelle couleur, de quelle couleur, de quelle couleur est la moto? Elle est rouge. Right? So this question here is asking what color is the motorcycle? And it is red. And remember the it here is elle because la moto is feminine. All right. So now we see the colors, right? We have white, black, blue, red, yellow, green, gray, brown, orange, and pink. And again, what you see underneath is the top one is the masculine form, the bottom one is the feminine form of the adjective. So, s'il vous plaît, répétez blanc, blanc, blanche, blanche, noir, 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 bleu, 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 jaune, jaune, jaune. All right, so let's start with yellow again. Sorry, I had to help my daughter for a moment. So yellow is jaune, jaune. Green is vert, vert. Gris, 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 gris. Marron, marron. Orange, orange. Rose, rose. And then you see the little arrow. The colors orange and maroon are invariable. They do not take any endings. So what that is talking about is the fact that orange and brown, okay, they don't make agreements. So they don't agree in gender and number with the noun they describe, which means if you're asked to describe the color of something and you don't know if the noun is masculine or feminine or singular or plural, I would use brown or orange to describe it because any which way, you're going to always write brown as marron and orange as orange. So their example here, we have un sac orange, des sacs orange, right? So des sacs is plural, but orange still doesn't have an S on it. Un t-shirt marron, une chemise marron. Again, une chemise is feminine, but marron is still spelled the same way. So again, those would be my default colors if I wasn't sure what gender and number a particular noun was. All right, let's repeat those one more time. S'il vous plaît, répétez blanc, blanche, noir, noir, bleu, bleu, rouge, rouge, jaune, jaune, vert, verte, gris, gris, marron, marron, orange, orange, rose, rose. So we're going to do exercice de possession. Ask what objects or pets the following people own. A classmate will answer giving the color. So I'm going to ask the question and ask you to give that answer, right? So of our answer here, you're always going to start with we. This one is L because Leah is a girl, right? If it's a boy, then you're going to start with il instead. Okay, the A will always stay the same. And then again, this is un chat because this is a cat. Okay, and then jaune because the cat is yellow. So, s'il vous plaît, répétez oui, il a, Oui, il a. Oui, elle a. Oui, elle a. So, numéro 1. Est-ce que Madame Mercier a une voiture? Oui, elle a une voiture rouge. 2. Est-ce que Marc a un scooter? Oui, il a un scooter jaune. 3. Est-ce que Delphine a un vélo? Oui, elle a un vélo noir. Or if you feel like her bike is gray, you could say oui, elle a un vélo gris. 4. Est-ce que Sophie a une guitare? Oui, elle a une guitare orange. 5. Est-ce qu'Eric a un chien? Oui, il a un chien blanc. Exercice 3. L'Arche de Noah. Noah's Ark has just landed. Give the colors of the animals as they get off the ship. So again, you're using the picture to identify the colors. So again, we see the dog here, right? And the dog is white, so le chien est blanc. So for all of these, you're going to use the word that is given here, and then the word a, and then the color. Now, most of these are masculine, right? We know they're masculine because they're le's. But remember, if we have a la, it's feminine. And so we have to make our adjective feminine as well. So, numéro 1, okay, le chat. Le chat est orange. 2. L'éléphant. L'éléphant est gris. 3. La panthère. La panthère est noire. 4. Le zèbre. Le zèbre est noir et blanc. 5. Le flamand. Le flamand est rose. 6. Le cardinal. Le cardinal est rouge. 7. Le lion. Le lion est jaune. Et 8. Le perroquet. Le perroquet est vert. All right. This last part again is these bags, adjectives. Okay, so the 9 adjectives: beauty, age, goodness, and size. Okay. Compare the position of the adjectives in the following sentences. Voici une voiture française. Voici une petite voiture. Paul est un garçon intelligent. Pierre est un beau garçon. So again, these first 2 sentences, right, these are regular adjectives. So they're coming after the noun that they describe, because here's our noun. Okay. But petit and beau are bags adjectives. So they go before the noun they describe. So here's the article, here's the noun, here's the article, here's our noun, and our adjective is in between. A few adjectives like petit and beau come before the noun they modify. The article de often becomes de before an adjective. Compare des voitures, de petites voitures. I will never mark it wrong if you forget to do that, so don't worry too much about that. So we have les adjectifs qui précèdent le nom. So the adjectives that precede or go before the noun. So remember, I told you there were 9. Here we only have 6. Okay? But you have learned jeune, so we're going to kind of add jeune to this list, which means young, right? And so beau and belle and jolie, these are your B, your beauty ones. Gros and petite, these are your S ones, those are size. Bon and mauvais, those are your goodness ones. And Jean is one of your age ones. So, s'il vous plaît, répétez beau, beau, belle, belle. Regarde la belle voiture. Jolie, jolie. Qui est la jolie fille avec André? Grand, grand. Nous habitons dans un grand appartement. Petit, petit. Ma sœur a un petit ordinateur. Bon, bon, bonne, bonne. Tu es un bon copain. Mauvais, mauvais. Patrick est un mauvais élève. There is liaison after the above adjectives when the noun which follows begins with a vowel sound. Note that in liaison, the D of grand is pronounced like a T, so un grand appartement, and bon is pronounced like bon, un bon élève. So again, these are these bags adjectives, and what's different about them is where they come with respect to the noun. These are adjectives that go before the noun that they describe. All right, we have a new vocabulaire, expression pour la conversation, how to get someone's attention. S'il vous plaît, répétez dis, dis. Dis, Eric, est-ce que tu as une voiture? Dis donc. Dis donc. Dis donc. Est-ce que tu veux faire une promenade avec moi? And working through the translation of those, right, we have, hey, Eric, do you have a car? Hey there, do you want to go for a walk with me? So your homework is on page 174, exercise 2. We did this one out loud. In this one, I do want you to write both the question and the answer. Right, so the S, que stays the same every time, as does the a. And then again, the we stays the same every time. It'll either be il or L every time. The a stays the same. So for number 1, we would ask est-ce que, and we can kind of save a little bit of writing and just say est-ce qu'elle, because Madame Mercier is a woman. A une voiture. Does she have a car? And then it would be oui, elle, because it's a girl, a une voiture rouge. So these are all colors. So the colors all come after the noun that they describe. And rouge, although voiture is feminine, rouge already ends in an E, so I don't add an extra E to make it feminine. Exercise 3, Lac de Noah. Noah's Ark has just landed. Give the colors of the animals as they get off the ship. So you're going to write out those sentences for what color they are. So for number 1, it would be le chat est orange. So you're writing out those sentences for that. So, au revoir. À demain.